Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today is the start of the wrapping up 2020 in books. So today we are doing my most disappointing books. So these are, I have to say, not all of these are bad. Some of them are books that might be like even a 4 stars, but these are books that I thought I was going to give a higher rating than I gave them, basically. So I don't have too many, and I think I have gotten everyone. So I think I have gotten everyone. I only have 5 disappointments this week, but yeah, let's just get into it. It won't be too much. So the first book I have is Desha Dad. This is the first book in Temperance Brennan's series, and this is a 4 stars. But so obviously I didn't like it. The reason it was a disappointment, I put it on this list, was because I thought it was going to be a 5 star. I love the TV show Bones, and I tried to kind of keep that out of my mind. However, the thing was, the beginning was really good, and then it was like a big chunk of the book that was really boring before the end was exciting again. So the thing kind of became that before I started this book, I obviously had kind of a thought that I love Bones, so there is, I think I'm going to give this 5 stars. I am going to continue on with this series, obviously, because it's a 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, but I thought it was going to be a 5 star, and I gave it a 4 stars. So yeah, obviously this wasn't bad, but it was just a disappointment because I thought it would be a higher rating. Then we also have one of these, and that is A Game of Thrones. This is also a 4 stars, but I thought I was going to give it a 5. I don't know why it wasn't a 5 stars, but after I finished that book, I didn't have that burning feeling that this is a 5 star book. When I read a 5 star book, I have that feeling, that really deep inside feeling that this is a 5 star. I loved it. And I didn't have that with A Game of Thrones, but I really did enjoy it since I gave it 4 stars. So I just think that for me, it missed something. And one of those things, it might have been that I have watched the first season of Game of Thrones, and they are very similar, but I just think that watching the TV show first made me kind of only feeling like the TV show was kind of, let's call it, better. I feel like sometimes it's easier to watch something instead of, but obviously I liked it. Going to continue on, this year I am going to continue on with the series. And then we have Ninth House. This is from Leigh Bardugo, and I have only read one book from her before, but I love that book. I want to continue on with that series, and I thought I was going to love Ninth House, and I gave it 2 stars. So I could have put it on my worst list, but I just felt like that. Sorry. I just felt like that wasn't right, but I gave it 2 stars. I just didn't like the setting. I I had to get the audiobook to get through it. I thought I was going to give this more. I don't know, like the rating, maybe like a 4 stars, and it was a 2. I didn't like the setting. I didn't like a lot of things in the book. I was confused, and I feel like that is one like thing that has been going on this whole year. I have been so confused with so many books. So yeah, it was a disappointment. I can't say why it really was like a big disappointment, because this is long. I read this like at the beginning of the year, but I gave it 2 stars. I am going to reread it. I can say that. I hope to reread it maybe this year to see if it was my mood or if it's just that I don't like the book, basically. So even though it was a disappointment, I want to reread it and see if it's still a 2 stars. And then we have Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me, and I gave this 3 stars, I think. I obviously haven't written down my ratings, but I think I gave it 3 stars. I thought I was going to love this, because obviously I love romances, and I don't have... I mean, the reason I didn't like it, I just felt like... yeah, it was a really toxic relationship, and I don't know if I reread this, if I would like it now. I don't know, basically. So yeah, I just didn't like Laura Dean. I didn't like her at all, and that might have been one of the problems, because Laura Dean just was a douche and I didn't like her, so that might have been it. I feel like I don't typically like really toxic relationships, but I might reread it once to see if I'm going to unhaul it or not. Then the last book I'm going to talk about is Mexican Gothic. So this book had an amazing beginning. I was so intrigued, and I was just like, this is going to be a 5 star. And then we got like halfway-ish and it crashed, basically. So basically, in my thrillers, I don't like that is something, let's call it like paranormal-ish, because it was a little, and then it was just something really weird. The reason why everything was going on was just a weird thing, and I didn't like that, basically. So that, I think that is the reason why it just crashed. I didn't like things, and things was said that I didn't like, and it was just a mess, you know. Like, I liked the first half of the book, and then after the reveal, things just went crashing, and after that, I didn't want to... I just sped up the audiobook and pushed through it. Even though I didn't like it, I gave it 3 stars, so obviously it wasn't that bad, because the beginning was so strong, but I won't reread it. Or maybe I have to, because if you know my recommendations, I put things in there even though I have read them, and if I pull that one, I will need to reread it. And I think it won the GoodReads awards as well, so it might be up there as well. So I might have to reread it, and I don't know how. It might... I mean, the thing with like thrillers is that usually I only read them once, because I know what is going to happen, and then things kind of is ruined for me. So yeah, but that was my most disappointing books throughout the year, so stay tuned for my most surprising books, my worst books, and my favorite romance books, and my favorite books in other genres than romance. So stay tuned for that. Those will come throughout the month. And I hope you like this, and I hope I will see you next time. Bye!